Our team is working hard to keep the content up to date. If you find this video helpful, please let us know in the comment. We really appreciate if you like and subscribe to our channel. If you are looking for any particular certification which is currently not available on our channel, please mention that in the comment. Our team will prioritize those. Thank you. Next question is: an application team is refactoring one of its internal tools to run in AWS instead of on-premises hardware. All of the code is currently written in Python and is standalone. There is also no external state store or relational database to be queried. Which deployment pipeline incurs the least amount of changes between development and production? A. Developers should use Docker for local development. When dependencies are changed and a new container is ready, use AWS code pipeline and AWS code build to perform functional tests and then upload the new container to Amazon ECR. Use AWS CloudFormation with the custom container to deploy the new Amazon ECS. B. Developers should use Docker for local development. Use AWS SMS to import these containers as AMOS for Amazon EC2 whenever dependencies are updated. Use AWS code pipeline to test new code changes against the auto-scaling group. C. Developers should use their native Python environment. When dependencies are changed and a new container is ready, use AWS code pipeline and AWS code build to perform functional tests and then upload the new container to the Amazon ECR. Use AWS CloudFormation with the custom container to deploy the new Amazon ECS. D. Developers should use their native Python environment. When dependencies are changed and a new code is ready, use AWS code pipeline and AWS code build to perform functional tests and then upload the new container to the Amazon ECR. Use code pipeline and code build with the custom container to test new code changes inside AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Correct answer is A. Next question is: a company is using an AWS code build project to build and package an application. The packages are copied to a shared Amazon S3 bucket before being deployed across multiple AWS accounts. The buildspec.yml file contains the following. The DevOps engineer has noticed that anybody with an AWS account is able to download the artifacts. What steps should the DevOps engineer take to stop this? A. Modify the post_build to command to use ACL public read and configure a bucket policy that grants read access to the relevant AWS accounts only. B. Configure a default ACL for the S3 bucket that defines the set of authenticated users as the relevant AWS accounts only and grants read-only access. C. Create an S3 bucket policy that grants read access to the relevant AWS accounts and denies read access to the principal asterisk. D. Modify the post_build command to remove ACL authenticated read and configure a bucket policy that allows read access to the relevant AWS accounts only. Correct answer is A. Next question is: a web application has been deployed using an AWS Elastic Beanstalk application. The application developers are concerned that they are seeing high latency in two different areas of the application. HTTP client requests to a third-party API. MySQL client library queries to an Amazon RDS database. A DevOps engineer must gather trace data to diagnose the issues. Which steps will gather the trace information with the least amount of changes and performance impacts to the application? A. Add additional logging to the application code. Use the Amazon CloudWatch agent to stream the application logs into Amazon Elasticsearch service. Query the log data in Amazon ES. B. Instrument the application to use the AWS X-Ray SDK. Post trace data to an Amazon Elasticsearch service cluster. Query the trace data for calls to the HTTP client and the MySQL client. See on the AWS Elastic Beanstalk management page for the application. Enable the AWS X-Ray daemon. View the trace data in the X-Ray console. D. Instrument the application using the AWS X-Ray SDK. On the AWS Elastic Beanstalk management page for the application, enable the X-Ray daemon. View the trace data in the X-Ray console. Correct answer is D.